I'm a bit lucky because I had the opportunity last year to do an ELA and social studies combined class, which was the whole afternoon. So I already got some of my students used to it, but I definitely found it challenging to keep them engaged for the 2.5 hours. But I find that a writing workshop style classroom lends itself quite nicely to a 2.5 hour class, because instead of rushing through reading, a free write, a mentor check study, and some work time, we actually just get to spend a bit more time each day doing each of those things. That is something I had been struggling with a bit myself, is with the last time I taught a class that was over 2 hours long. It was still for the entire semester, so I had a lot more kind of flexibility and spending a bit more time on certain topics. But for me, as long as I'm thinking, okay, are we meeting the curricular outcomes? And with a writing workshop style classroom we are, they're doing compose and create, comprehend and respond, and assess and reflect every single day usually, or I'm trying to plan it that way. It allows me to think, on one hand, are we doing roughly 2 classes worth of work that day? And then on the other hand, if we're meeting all of those outcomes, can we do less little assignments and maybe, have it still count as much as it would have traditionally? And every day we'll start off with 30 minutes of reading, at least, where I'm asking the students to read like a writer. They'll do an 8 to 10 minute free write with a theme-based prompt, either with a skill that we're practicing or one of the big questions or big ideas from the unit. Then we'll look into a mentor text, so we're annotating, we're reading in pairs, we're pulling apart what makes that writing good, and then it gives them a bit longer, 30, 40 minutes, some days an hour at the end, to work on whatever writing project we're currently doing. So giving them time, instead of, okay, we're going to spend 2.5 hours working on one thing, we're doing a task for 20 minutes and then there's a 5-minute maybe interaction or a brain break or a quick YouTube video we're going to watch that has to do with it before we transition into the next. I had a conversation with a couple of students today, just touching base. How do you feel about being back at school? How do you feel about the longer classes? And I would assure everyone that we're in the same boat together, and the students are adjusting at the same rate we are, and they seem to understand that. They seem to understand that this is new for all of us. So, don't be afraid to check in with your class and how is this going? Are we doing enough? Am I breaking this class into enough of the kind of smaller tasks that it's manageable? But at the same time, just be kind to yourself and know that if you're trying to move things in the right direction, that's all you can do.